Welcome, everybody. It's going to be an amazing show today. We're going to be talking about acquisition manager tips, rebuttals, and what you can do to overcome rebuttals. A lot of people they get stuck and they get scared when a prospect asks them a certain question, and they might not be as sure to what to answer the question. So today we're going to be talking about a bunch of things uh, relating to rebuttals. So remember, rebuttals are designed to offset concerns, right, and alleviate concerns. So you want to make sure that your rebuttals are natural, that they are, fit your personality, and that you're confident in what you're telling a prospect, right, and you're educated about your rebuttal. So a lot of people they get on these acquisition calls or they hire these VAs and they have no acquisition training. So we're going to dive real deep into that. But before we get started, let me know where you guys are watching from. You know how we do it. Where you guys are watching from, let me type this into the comments. Uh, Check out the replay to the training we did last night. We're going to take it down in the next 12 hours. So where are you? Yeah, so I'm excited for myself too. We're doing a new campaign for the real estate business, and I'm excited about that. I think it's going to be a lot of motivated sellers in the next, 90 to 120 days. It's going to be ready to sell. Do what they need to do. Keep it out, in your local counties, uh, tax sales list as well as foreclosures list as well as classified sections. Newspapers don't post the notices to you know, foreclose or take back assets. Keep an eye on a lot of the creditors, the way they're moving. You're going to make a ton of money. You know what I mean? Like, COVID's over with. So, the show must continue and everything must go on to what real estate is. People can't afford to pay. They get their house taken away. The rest they come in and fix it up, put a new person in that can't pay. And the cycle must continue. So, who on here has issues with um, getting deals on the contract or talking to sellers, right? Green machine. So who on here has issues with talking to sellers or talking to sellers comfortably? I'm gonna give you a bunch of tips that you can use right now that you can walk away with and probably on the phone this afternoon and literally tighten up your deals and close more deals, right? So the number one question most people get afraid of is um, how much you're gonna offer me. Let's talk about the how much you're gonna offer me objection. You could frame this up in so many different ways, but you got to let them know who you are and set the expectation. Hey, listen, I'm going to offer you as much as I can, but I'm gonna need your cooperation so that way we can put our heads together both to figure out exactly how much I can actually offer you to make sense for me and you. Or you could say, that's a good question. I always like saying that's a good question. You know what? If you can give me another 5 to 10 minutes to ask a few more questions so I can do a little more research, I know for a fact I can give you a great offer. But I want to offer right now. And then say, Mr. Seller, would it be fair if I give you an offer right now and I don't know everything about the property that I can take into account to make sure I get you the best offer? If I give you an offer right now, I'm literally just making up something out of thin air because I don't have everything I need to do my job. So you gotta let them know, slow down, it's coming. If the person hangs up on you after you tell them that, or they get frustrated with you, they might not be as motivated to sell as you would lead on to think. There's a lot of people um, that get phone calls to their property and they come off as they're interested in selling, but the whole time they just love to gloat and to get their ego stroke. Ego stroke. So you got to be careful about falling to the ego stroke trap where a person's leading you on, then you finally send a contract and it's crickets, like a bunch of crickets. So make sure that you are not falling into that trap of stroking people's ego. So you want to get on when you go on the call. Address people by their first name. So, example, I'm gonna use Jermaine. Uh, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna call you up. You answer the phone. Hello. Hey, what's up, Jermaine? How you doing today? Who is this? Oh, what's up, Jermaine? This is Antoine Campbell giving you a call. And I leave it at that, right? Okay, how can I help you? Well, I'm giving you a call because I have your information on my desk. You expressed interest in receiving a cash offer on your property. So look at the way I frame the way I talk to my sellers. I never said that you was interested in selling your property because I don't know if you guys know or not. Selling a person been interested in selling their property and a person been interested in receiving an offer on their properties. It's two different levels of commitment. So you guys got to start understanding how to get people to make commitments and make micro commitments to lead up to bigger commitments, right? So if you're saying, I'm calling because I know you're interested in receiving a cash offer on your property, it calms them down. But if you're like, yeah, I heard you want to sell your house. Who told you that? I never said I wanted to sell my house. And now you already playing defense. You want to play offense as much as possible in a sales conversation so you can control the pace of the call. And what I mean by that is if a person, and you set the expectation, say, yeah, so, it's my job to call and get a little more information so I can do my proper due diligence and get you that offer. Fair enough? So make sure that you're asking for permission before you move further in your process. Hey, so and then when you're in the beginning of the call, I even do this on all my businesses. When I call people, did I catch you at a bad time? Because if you a lot of you guys, when we listen to your calls, because we have acquisition training, you're talking to people, they're in the middle of driving, they're in the middle of making, macaroni and cheese, they're in the middle of cutting the grass, like they're doing everything but paying attention to you, and you're still trying to push through your script. If you hear an ounce of distraction, or if you hear them not as attentive as you want them to be on the sales call, then you should stop it right there. So when I call somebody, hey, this is Antoine Campbell giving you a call. Or hey, what's up, Jermaine? This is Antoine Campbell giving you a call. Did I catch you at a bad time? I'm always asking for permission to move further, to speak to them for a few extra more minutes. No, you ain't catching me at a bad time. You know what? I'm in the middle of driving. Great. Listen, I don't want you to, run yourself into a ditch fooling with me. How about I give you a call in the next 20, 30 minutes? Or how about you call me back? And if you don't call me back, then I give you a call, in the next 20, 30 minutes. Okay, great. I can do that. You see how you're getting them to do micro commitments. But if they say, no, I'm good, I can talk. They say, okay, great. Well, listen, I just want to talk to you about you receiving a cash offer. It's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes just to speak to you, to ask you a few more questions. Then after that, I can do what I got to do and get back to you as soon as possible. And then you go into your script. But before you get into your script, you want to put them guards down. Right now, everybody you talk to that don't know you, no matter what this conversation is, what we teach is universal. You can take this to any business you're working. They don't know you, so they got their guards up. You got to figure out a way to get their guards down. So you need to find commonality, right? My biggest example is if you're talking to a guy and maybe I'm from Washington, D.C., and we're marketing to people maybe in Miami, Florida, or maybe Dallas, Texas. I'm going to crack jokes about their football team. And say, you can say stuff like, hey, before we get started, I just want to let you know we just stopped giving people cash offers that's Dallas Cowboy fans. So hopefully you're not a Dallas Cowboy fan. And you can joke with them. Or you can switch it up. If it's a girl and it's just past New Year's, I'm just curious, how was your New Year's? What you get into for New Year's? How was your Christmas weekend or whatever you can use to find commonality. Or it's Friday, right? Today's Friday, so you can jump into this. Man, what you got planned for the weekend? Well, what's on your agenda for the weekend? What you got planned? I know it's Friday. Oh man, I'm taking the children here. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And you're finding commonality. Oh wow, I take my kids over there on the weekends. It's a pretty decent place. Matter of fact, go over there at 3:00. They got $9.99 pizzas. Like you always want to provide value to people and show people that you care and that you're very attentive and you're patient with them. And then once you build that rapport, how's the weather holding up over there? I seen y'all had some snow over there. How the weather holding down there? I seen it got a little cold. I know Florida not a place that normally get cold. It was just a cold front down there last week. So you got to know these things, guys. Most of you are lazy when it comes to salespeople. You don't want to take the time to know your prospect, to know your prospects around us, to be able to pick up little pieces to find commonality. Sales is about finding commonality and middle ground, and then letting the negotiations work yourself out. So once you get to the point where you find that commonality and you feel good about it, then say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I ain't mean to get off topic. You know what? Let's start off with this. I know some of the stuff I'm going to be asking you is already repetitive because you talked to my partner, but I just want to make sure I have everything in front of me correctly. We are talking about the property located at 3265 Lock Raven Avenue, right? Okay, great. I just want to make sure that everything's correct. You didn't do any major renovations or anything in the last 2 years, right? And if they say no, okay, great. So anything. Let me ask you another question off the record. If you had a choice to make one major repair on your property, right, and you can do it, and money wasn't an obstacle, what would that be? That's going to get you in the back door. You know what? I want to fix up the kitchen and the plumbing. I've been having a leak in the bathrooms, or the roof been giving me hell every time it rains. They'll tell you. Versus, what's wrong with your property? Everybody's going to naturally revert to say nothing's wrong with my property, right? My property is in good condition. Then when you go lock it up or go see the property, you're like, yo, what is your definition of good condition? So we all had our definitions are different from what what a word really means. So you got to be careful when someone says their property is in good condition or it's nothing wrong with my property. So just ask them that. Hey, listen, if you had to fix up one thing on your property, and money wasn't an obstacle, what would that be? And just make it sound like you're curious. You want to know, oh, I want to fix this, I want to fix that. So in the last 2 years, what have you done to the house? Anything major? So how long you had the house? So since 2003, you haven't touched anything major to the house. It's just been as is you bought it, right? Yeah. Okay, great. Is there a certain amount of money you want to walk away with in your pocket after you pay off your mortgage? Well, ask them, do you have a mortgage? Yeah, I got a mortgage. Great. You don't really have to push them, ask them how much they owe, because once again, they putting their guards back up. So don't go into how much they owe unless they invite you to ask that question. But what I would do is I would keep that surface level and say, okay, great. Since now you established they have a mortgage and they have an obligation, then you can frame it as, you know what? In the perfect world, if you can make a deal and make everything make sense, and you know what you owe on your mortgage and any outstanding debts on your property, what would you want to walk away with in your pocket after everything's all said and done? That's how you ask that question. And next thing you know, they're going to tell you, I would love to walk away with $50,000, $200,000, $1 million, whatever the case is. Now you can work backwards to figure out exactly what they're asking for their property. So you can frame it like this. This is the easiest way to do it. You know what? I can't promise you anything, but I'm going to do my best to try to get you close to that. Well, I'm going to do my best to try to get you right around where that's at. And now you've been honest and been realistic. But like I said, if they go into rebuttals like, when I'm going to move, people say, I would love to sell you my house, but when I'm going to move? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked me that. In fact, we move at your own pace, Mr. Seller. We can commit today so we can lock in today's price because we don't know what tomorrow next week look like. So our finance manager can put down that money and dedicate it to this transaction. And we can lock in the price today while you're working on finding a place to move. We do have some people internally that can assist you with applications of apartments or things of that sort if you decide that you want to move that way. So that's a good rebuttal that we use. Jermaine said, Jim. Yeah, guys, if you find any value in this, don't hesitate to comment or don't hesitate to drop your questions as I'm going through what I got, to go through. But like I said, they're gonna say where I'm gonna move. Another person might say, how do I know if this legit, or how do I know you legit? You can say, I'm glad you asked me that. Or you can say, I understand where you're coming from. Let me ask you, am I talking to you on the cell phone? They say yes. Then next thing you know, you say, well, listen, I just text you over our website. If you want to start right here just to check out our website, we can pick back up this conversation in a few minutes. I would be more than happy. We pride ourselves on what we do, and we'd love you for you to take a look at our website. And if you feel like this isn't the right fit for you, you feel like you're not comfortable to continue to move forward, it's no hard feelings. See, the secret to especially real estate sales is you gotta have a dab of being nonchalant into it. If you show people you're thirsty, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, they want the house regardless. So we're gonna scratch them and work them as long as we can. So just make sure that you're putting a little small dab of nonchalant into your script where you're not, being pressed or being thirsty. I think a lot of people, when I, especially on Facebook, and I be seeing people talking and talking about their deals or they asking for help, and I be like, man, they too thirsty. They gotta calm it down. Because if you acting like that's the only business you got, then people gonna be like, well, I'm not trusting you in my house if that's the only business you got. It's like going to it's like going to it's like going to what they call it, man, I lost my train of thought. Hold on, somebody dropped the question. Antoine, do you do coaching? Yes, yes. Reach out to me if you're serious about it. We have a bunch of options for you. Reach out to me. Go to our website, co929.com, book a call, and we'll do our best to figure out how we can help you. It's not a one size fit all programs that we offer. We offer custom tailored programs for your exact business. So reach out to us on the call so we can figure out how to help you. Let me see. I got some other common questions written down. Any rebuttals that you guys are stuck with, or anything that you're um, so you can always, when you're getting a person that's saying that, you're right at the middle of trying to get them to persuade them for their offer. You can literally say, hey, especially if you check Propstream, you see two people on a mortgage or something. You can say, hey, Mr. Seller, hey, Henry, let me ask you a question. You know, is there anybody that, if you decide to accept our offer, is there anybody that you may need to run this past before you accept the offer? I got to talk to my son, I got to talk to my sister, I got to talk to my wife, and then slow down the conversation, guys. I'm not afraid to slow down conversations and pick it back up later. You know what? I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea if we pause it right here and then get your wife involved. Get her on a three-way call with us or on the same phone as you, so we all can be on the same page. That way, you won't have to repeat yourself when explaining to her what's going on. That right there is going to put you like 20 miles ahead of all your competition, because what's going to happen is now you can frame both of them up and close both of them at the same time without hoping and praying that they'll go back and tell their wife everything you told them, and that she agree with everything that's going on. It's usually you happen to get the spouse on the phone to get them to understand that this is what's going on, this is what we're trying to accomplish, and they'll even say yes or no if they agree to it. So if the spouse is giving you a lot of slack, or there's real bland with the situation, you can always include them in it. Hey, how you feel about this? What's your idea on selling, or have you put any thought into selling a property? If you sell, then what would that look like for you guys? So sometimes you got to include them in the thinking process so they can make a decision together, especially if they're not on the same page. There's a lot of couples and a lot of people out here that's not on the same page, even though they've been married for 20 years, 15 years, whatever the case may be. any given time, we had 2 to 3 acquisition VAs in rotation for me. It all depends. I don't really like a lot of acquisition VAs working directly for me, but any given time, we're training. When we do acquisition training, maybe 10 to 17 acquisition VAs that's going through intensive training. So if that's something you're looking for, book a call with us. So yeah, so any questions that you guys have. But what I want to tell you guys about rebuttals is go back to your phone calls and listen to all the objections you've been getting, and then sit down with somebody and then work out some rebuttals for all them objections. When you listen to about 30, 40 calls, it's going to be the same similar questions, I guarantee you. And you come up with a rebuttal script for that. Another thing you can do is what we do is you can put all of the objections on like a spinner wheel little thing on the computer. And when you put all objections on the spinner wheel computer, you literally just tap the button and then land on whatever on the spinner wheel, and then you got to immediately just put out a rebuttal. And that's how you get better and better. Maybe you have an accountability partner. Maybe you have somebody local in your real estate investor, in your local real estate investor market that's doing the same thing you're doing. You guys can make this like a game night. You know what I mean? So what's the process of quality controls for your VAs? Literally, it's just listening to calls and coaching. Listening calls, coaching, and then talking to them, asking them, how they feel about the offer, how they feel about the seller, what problems do they have, what did you listen to, what they're going through, what personal issues or personal roadblocks that may be stopping the deal from happening. So just that simple stuff, guys, and I promise you, if you can do that consistently and work with your team, they'll get better and better. And just have that training. You guys got to sit down and listen to calls and have the training and slow down for a second. We all want to go 1,000 miles an hour, but at the end of the day, slow down. It's nothing wrong with taking your time to figure out what's what. I like all the questions you guys are dropping today. But like I said, the acquisitions, we go through this in real detail. It's very long, but the acquisition process is literally getting people to put their guards down, setting the expectations of who you are and what you do, asking for permission to move forward in the sales process, and asking the tough questions and addressing the elephant in the room. And then most importantly, being attentive and listening. So a good acquisition manager is going to take notes of what the prospect is telling them, so that way they can remember. It's proven that if you write stuff down, you remember it better, right? So take great notes. Even if I still like to write stuff down and then maybe retype it in your CRM, but it's just for some reason, just taking your hand and writing it out is a whole lot better. So make sure that you're writing this stuff down and you are going through all of this information. But like I said, today, it's just strictly rebuttals. And if you're not working on your rebuttals, you're going to struggle to get deals on the contract. And make offers that make sense for the seller. So if the seller's saying, hey, I want to relocate to Florida, I don't have a car, but I definitely want to relocate to Florida, and they got a ton of equity, then say, hey, listen, we can work on getting you a moving quote. We'll send a moving company over to pack up everything, ship it to Florida, and then I'll send, once you sign the contract, I work on sending over a few apartment applications that we found that make sense to you. And literally, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Out here DoorDash and still learning. Thanks for the advice. Listen, guys, let me tell you the ultimate secret hack to life. If you want to fulfill as much education in your brain as possible, every ounce of time that you have that's available that you can use it to learn something, whether it's a podcast, it's a YouTube channel like this, it's a training, it's a course, it's Audible, play it. So while you're in the shower, go get your big speaker, put it in the bathroom, play that podcast. While you're driving, play that podcast. While you in your office doing paperwork, play the podcast or the training. While you are just doing anything that's dead time that don't require your undivided attention, be learning. Because I'm telling you, your brain is so big and so powerful that we don't even know how complex the brain is. Scientists don't know. So continue to pour into yourself and get as much value as possible. Shout out to my brother out here grinding, trying to make it happen for his business, putting it all on the line. And that's what it takes, guys. And like I said, the rebuttals is really big in your business. If you don't have rebuttals and you don't have a script, you don't have a sales script or sales framework, I strongly invite you next week to our training. We're teaching you everything about acquisitions. We're going in real detail. We give you all the scripts. We give you the offer calculators. We give you the sales contract. We give you everything you need to be successful and work with you. And you have lifetime access to that training, so you can use that to train somebody from your team. A VA for we got clients out here using VAs to close deals. Now, I don't really promote that heavy because that can become a lazy mechanism for people, and they don't want to do the work or they hide behind the VAs. And then when things don't work out, they want to point the finger. So we don't really lead that in the forefront. We offer that. So once you come into our system and you buy something from us, or you buy a product or something, and then we really get to know you and talking to you, and we feel like that your personality, or we feel like you're a good fit for that, then we'll present that to you. But we don't just be, we got acquisition here. Nah, because it attracts the wrong people, honestly. Any more questions? We're going to keep this one short. It's a Friday. I got a lot of work to do this afternoon. I want to be done work before 6 o'clock today because I honestly want to take a nap because I get up in the morning and bake some mac and cheese for my wife. We're going to a baby shower, so I definitely want to be a good supportive husband. But other than that, guys, drop your questions. If you didn't watch the training we did yesterday, we dropped some, out the gate. I gave people a play, and I told them, if you're struggling, you're broke, do what you got to do. Here's some alternatives to get the money. And people took action, and that's all that matters. As long as you're out here taking action, you've been consistent every day, you're going to get to your destination. It may take you 3 months, 6 months. It don't matter. Only thing I can tell you is don't give up. If you give up, then that's guaranteed failure. If you don't give up, it's not guaranteed failure. It may feel like failure, but you didn't give up. So, any more questions before we wrap it up? We're coming up on 28 minutes, so I definitely want to make sure I answer as many questions as possible. What's up with it, bro? We're about to wrap it up today. You guys can be more than welcome to watch the replay of this YouTube. We'll keep it up. Like I said, I'm going live every single day for the next year. That's my biggest goal to myself and accountability too. So continue to watch me Monday through Friday, sometime 12 o'clock Eastern Standard. We try our best to be consistent with that. We're working on it now. We supposed to do a meet and greet today, from my understanding. So we'll do a welcome call, and then we'll start our traditional calls next week. If you don't know, we launched the mastermind just for this community. If you're interested in being a part of it, reach out to us and we'll get you access to that. Yeah, it's going to be today at 5:30. You just literally send me the link. Email should be coming any second. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys. I got to go on busy day. Want to, just come on here and provide some tips and value. Like I said, if you want to go even deeper with this, we got a whole training next week. Reach out to me if you want to sign up for the training ASAP. Talk to you guys later. Appreciate you. See you on the next video Monday.